Okay.
What are we doing here, Raj?
So I think one of the things we want to talk about is the actual architecture of the Dell automation platform in terms of what are the pieces, where do they live, how does it all tie together?
Excellent. And a big thing about Dell is offering customers choice. So choice in this architecture would be important as well.
Yes.
Right? So how is this deployed, this portal and this orchestrator?
So it depends on what the customer wants. So there's the option to run the portal and the orchestrator in Dell Managed Cloud. So as software as a service.
Okay. Or
you can run the portal, keep that in Dell Managed Cloud and run the orchestrator on premises.
Right.
Or run them both on premises as well.
So we can do an air-gapped offering.
Yeah. So we can do the portal and the orchestrator, or we can do air-gapped. It doesn't have to be disconnected, but we have the option of doing disconnected for customers who need that security.
Okay. So what does our portal have?
Identity management.
Right.
It's got the observability pieces in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the actual catalog of the blueprints.
Right. And inventory.
Yes.
So inventory is important because what we're doing with our hardware now, rather than sending out an engineered appliance, we're sending out a PowerEdge compute node, right? And we spent a lot of time investing in a capability called Fast Identity Online, which means we can securely onboard the PowerEdge nodes at the customer site. It will check in with the portal. It'll see the catalog and the inventory that it's assigned to. And from there, the customer can use the orchestrator to deploy the outcome, essentially.
Perfect for sites that don't have IT people dedicated to standing up infrastructure.
Exactly, exactly. It's like thinking about getting your phone, needing to go to a shop somewhere to have the operating system put on it.
Okay.
Not necessary. They were doing this with the Edge, the native Edge customers who had a fleet of devices. Why don't we use the same capability in the core data center?
Okay.
So I think it's really, really interesting. So the catalog, as you mentioned, that catalog contains the outcomes, and that catalog can live up in the Dell cloud. And a catalog is a collection of blueprints. The orchestrator will use the blueprints to deploy those outcomes in an automated fashion on the compute and the storage, essentially also configure the storage.
And what are the blueprints written in, or how do I modify those?
Yes, so we're using an open standard. We're not using a only Dell language of some sort. It's a Tosca-based language, an open standard. So if a customer has already standardized on some other automation, are we saying you have to use ours?
No, I think so. If a customer wants if they already have Ansible, or they already use Terraform, how does this sit alongside? Or integrate with?
Absolutely. So if they want to have this secure onboarding and they can be sure that the devices haven't been tampered with where they arrive, this is a great way of pushing the automation through the orchestrator. So they could have their own blueprints, their own custom blueprints here. They would write them, they would stand over them, or they would get a services engagement from Dell to do that and manage and maintain that. But it doesn't replace this effort. If they've got a lot of configuration management and automation,
reuse, and the reuse piece is key in terms of being able to leverage those existing investments and the existing skill sets internally.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we will write a catalog of outcomes and stand over the blueprints that we host as valid outcomes up in our portal, and allow customers to use that to get the infrastructure up and running. And then whether they want to use a custom blueprint that they write themselves, or they use a third party or another vendor to help write blueprints, they can then leverage that to deploy the software that runs the business on top.
Okay. deployment is one thing, but I only deploy some infrastructure once.
Yeah.
Day 2 is more important. What can it do about day 2?
So the orchestrator can be used to also lifecycle manage the outcomes, whether it's the compute or the storage. And depending on the outcome, that could be an automated blueprint, or in the Dell Private Cloud outcomes, we actually add a capability within each Dell Private Cloud outcome to do the lifecycle management of that outcome as well. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. At the end of the day, we're using infrastructure as code as the final way of getting this into our customers' hands quickly.
And do I have to wait for those patches in the same way that I used to with VxRail, in terms of a bundle of patches that include the PowerEdge, that include the Dell software, that include the Broadcom VMware software?
Yeah, so I think the answer is there's a little bit of both there. Customers can wait for Dell to release a validated blueprint outcome to push down to the node and version it to the next version, or the disaggregated approach of having separate compute and separate storage means we have a little bit more flexibility in being able to apply express patches or security updates to the compute layer much quicker. Okay. And obviously, we're using Dell storage, so we're in control of updating that piece as well. And they can be done independently. In the hyperconverged fashion, it was more important to test them all together because they were very tightly integrated. Yeah. This means we should be able to go faster in terms of patches and updates.
And then as the whole bundle comes out, then I can go back in line with that full validated compliant software version. Okay.
So there's a drift detection as you're applying updates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.